Alright guys, I have a 1965 Honda C100 that the gentleman from Malvern, Pennsylvania got in touch with me and wanted to have this thing refurbished. From the backstory he gave me, this was his father's, who is now 80, and he decided to hand it down to his son, and he wanted to get this thing back up and running because they have a property down at the beach. And I don't know about you, but I think something like this is a perfect little scoot to get around down there. I don't know why people buy new stuff when there's nothing cooler than these old things. But anyway, the bike had been sitting for quite a while. So, pulled the carb, cleaned it out, and true to Honda, it fired right up. But it did smoke pretty bad. It was really puffing, and it wasn't getting any better with an oil change or just giving it some time to run. So I ended up pulling the top end and giving the cylinder a 1/over bore with a new piston and rings, and now it is about 95% better. I didn't do anything extensive to the valves other than a quick lapping and removing the carbon. So I didn't replace the guides or the valves or any of that. I mean, I still get a little bit of a puff when you first start it, but considering where we started, we're good. Now you ask, why didn't you just do the valve train right away? Well, budgets are what they are, and we had already done quite a bit of work on this, so that's where we left it. When I got it, it was pretty crusty, corroded. The exhaust system was completely rusted out. In the back section there was a huge hole, and it was just generally crusty all over. So I elected to remove the wheels and most of the hardware, and I had a lot of it replated, and some of the components I just had them vapor honed. Like I vapor honed the kickstarter, the brake lever, and I also did the wheels. Now you can see that these are the original wheels, but they look gorgeous compared to the way they were. Now you can still, if you get up close, you can still see some evidence of the previous pitting, but all things said, it's world's better, and it's actually very economical. So, you know, of course everything looks great with new tires on it. So new tires, brakes, and all that good stuff. Removed the engine side covers, both sides, refinished those while it was apart, because it is one of the few items that really sticks out, so might as well make sure they look nice. Replaced the seat assembly, because that was a disaster. I'm trying to think, the only items on this bike that I replaced were, of course, the cables, exhaust system, seat assembly, and then small things like, again, the brake shoes, tires. That's it. The only thing that I don't like is the aftermarket cables are a tad long, and this was meant to obviously house the cables, but it's just too long. I decided to leave that on there just to you know, you take stuff off and ends up getting lost or whatnot. I know it doesn't look the best, but that's the choice I made versus having it get lost. So anyway, if you're looking for parts for these, you can get pretty much anything you need for these old step-throughs from Thailand. I had the exhaust system, seat assembly for this bike sent from Thailand, Bangkok, and it literally takes like 7 days. It's great. I'm working on another Super Cub right now that I ordered a bunch of stuff. I got entire wheel assemblies, hubs, spokes, rims, all assembled, ready to go for just a tad over $200 if I remember, and they were there in 7 days. It's hard to beat economically, but it's still cheaper to vapor hone them if they have a decent wheel. But anyway, it's really nice now. I polished everything up as best I could. The paint still has a bit of an orange hue to it, but this is a single stage paint. There's only so far you can go with it. You can really see how orange this side is, but this was more of what the original color was. But all things considered, being an original bike, it looks pretty darn good. So good. Didn't need a ton of work, so it should provide a lot more years of service. Just had it running a little bit ago, so it should start right up. Again, should. Had it running, but not that long, so it should still be relatively cold. I always thought those little Honda push rod motors were pretty neat. You don't get to see much of them, but it's in there, ticking away. And everything works. Horn is kind of anemic, but it works. So anyway, there you go. Pretty neat little bike. I'm sure the owner's going to be tickled pink once he gets it and gets a chance to run around the beach. And based on experience, his trips to the store or wherever he decides to go are going to take about a half an hour longer, because I know from experience riding these old bikes, everyone loves to see them and then tell their own story. So that's the only downfall to owning an older bike. Anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to have that other Honda Cub. I'm not sure when it will be done. Still working on the motor, but it'll definitely be this season. So stay tuned for that. And until then, I will see you later.